Thank you all for bringing us back to the British Library after 2 years. All of us know that COVID really took a toll on every sector, and especially the arts and entertainment sector and everything to do with literature, etc. However, what happened with us at JLF is that we used the occasion to go online very quickly. And as we shut down on the 20th of March in 2020, we went online with a new series on the 4th of April called JLF Brave New World. And we followed it with JLF Words Are Bridges, which was a series on translations. And both these, together with all of the JLFs that went online, JLF London, JLF Boulder, Colorado, JLFs in other parts of the world, really increased our community. When we did JLF last year at the British Library, we had about 7,000 odd people coming through the doors over the 2.5 days. In 2021, when we went online, we had 450,000 people watching JLF at the British Library online. And as of today, that number has gone up to 5 million, with a reach of 10 million. Similarly, at the Jaipur Literature Festival, which used to attract about 500,000 people on the ground through the doors every year, in 2021, when we did it online, we reached 27.5 million people. And people who we wouldn't otherwise have even thought would be interested in the Jaipur Literature Festival. While normally our first and second were always people from the US and the UK, third was typically Canada, and then Australia, much of Europe. Now it's changed completely. Our international audiences today come still number 1 and 2 from the United States and the United Kingdoms, but 3 is Germany, 4 is China, 5 is Indonesia, 6 is Uzbekistan, don't ask me why, but it is. 9 is Saudi Arabia, 10 is Japan. So it's completely changed for us the way that we see the festival. And none of this would have been possible if COVID hadn't forced us to change the way that we get literature and knowledge and information out. As you all know, that when we began the festival, our whole idea is, can we use considered knowledge and considered information to push back on the narrative of hatred by creating opportunities to understand other languages, other cultures, other people, other traditions, other religions, other colors, other castes. Because it's through ignorance that you have hatred. And through hatred, you have the kind of violence that we're seeing that's consumed all of us. So we gather here again in 2022, delightfully to do both a physical festival and a hybrid festival. We'll be online, you can watch us online, and of course, we would love for you to come every day, today, Saturday and Sunday, for this incredible program that Namita, William, and our colleagues at Teamwork Arts have put together, and savor the riches. Before we go there, I left my glass of wine just behind there. I wanted to raise a toast to our wonderful Booker. 10 days ago, as many of you know, the International Booker Award was announced, and Gitanjali Shri, who is going to be speaking tomorrow, won the award. And it was for the first time a translation from Hindi into English, which is now hopefully going to be seen in French and in many other, already in French and in many other languages. You will hear Gitanjali, apart from a slew of all our wonderful authors here over the next few days. So just to raise a toast, even if it's water, to you, Gitanjali, and to all our visiting writers who've joined us today. Our charity partners, and as you know, every year we try and have a charity partner because we do understand the need to be able to reach out and help as many people as possible. Our charity partners this year is the Salam Balak Trust, who works with street and working children. The charity was set up 33 years ago in India. Today they look after about 9,500 kids every year, kids who run away from home. Our colleagues from Salam Balak Trust should be here. Nick is here. Nick, if you wave, people will know who you are. And then anybody wants to speak to Nick, please do so. Anybody wants to write a check to Nick, please do so. He'll be delighted. And finally, just a big thank you again to all our many sponsors, to Hannah Rothschild and the Rothschild Foundation, who literally, at the very last minute, William asked them to help fund this large deficit that we had this year. The sentiment still seems to be from sponsors that we love you, but we're not sure whether we're giving anybody money. But Hannah Rothschild Foundation did. British Council stepped up to the table literally at the last minute. Rebecca, Skinder, thank you so much. Our wonderful partners, of course, our sweet partners, Sumit, your organization has been amazing. So thank you for keeping our livers happy. And yeah, Haldiram, thank you so much. To Rajasthan Tourism, I don't know whether Gayatri Rathore has finally found her way. Where? Hi, Gayatri. Thank you so much. Rajasthan Tourism are our partners in India as well. Surina and HS who have just walked in, who are our founding sponsors, and of course, the sponsors of the DSC Prize for Literature. HS, Surina, thank you all so much. And finally, to all our colleagues at the British Library. You know, for us, we go to so many different parts of the world. When we come here, it's really, we work together as a team. We had, as we said, a wee fire. Did it change our plans? Not really. It's par for the course. But we did all of this because we really worked together wonderfully. So thank you, Rolly, Jamie, Conrad, John, B, everybody who's made this possible. And to tell you a little bit about the program, can I ask Namita to say a few words, talk about the program, and then William. And then we'll have a wee bit of a break while we play the audiovisuals. And Rebecca will come and introduce the session that we're all waiting for with Monica Ali and with Jayashree. Thank you. Namita.
So both Sanjoy and William just speak from the top of their head, and though I've heard some of it before, but they just know how to speak like this. I have a piece of paper. Please forgive that. But I'm going to move away from my script to say that what you just saw today is really the essence of the Jaipur Literature Festival, the flexibility, the commitment to immediately turn a crisis that could have faced many other people into a fun afternoon, evening outside in the sun where nobody's frowning, nobody's looking stressed except maybe me. Yeah, but teamwork, I want to raise, not a toast, we've had mithai to do that. Let's give Teamworks and the British Library a huge clap for just for holding it together in the face of just things going a little, more than a little bit wrong. So I'm returning here to the British Library after a gap of 3 years. It continued, as Sanjoy told you, to be hybrid, to be digital, but it's different to be in these familiar surroundings, welcoming you here. So much has changed in these years, but books and ideas and creativity and questioning continue to nurture and sustain us. Welcome to this celebration of ideas, stories, narratives, of poetry and music, of ideas and conversations. The human race has evolved through its ability to tell stories and to share each other's narratives. A world without stories would be a world without chronicles, without history, or science, or creativity, or intuition. This weekend, beginning today, we look at the world as it is and as it could be. Our opening session just now with Monica Ali takes us through the complications of love, family, and identity. We welcome Gitanjali Shri, Booker International Awardee of 2022, who will tell us of borders and boundaries, and her novel Ret Samadhi, translated by the stellar translator Daisy Rockwell as Tomb of Sand. It's a special delight to have Amish, author, diplomat, now filmmaker, and the director of the Nehru Center, join us again at the British Library. We are honored to have Ramchandra Guha speak of his recent book, Rebels Against the Raj, Western Fighters for India's Freedom. We examine Eastminster, Westminster, constitutions and their fault lines with Helena Kennedy, Tripurdaman Singh, Chintan Chandrachud. We speak of foremothers, matriarchs, and memories, of new media and the slipstream of information, of Russia yesterday and today, of architectural and cultural history in Hampi and Vijayanagar, of the creative economy, of agriculture and the roots of democracy, of Bangladesh and the birth of a nation. We speak of crime and punishment with Wasim Khan and Sonia Valerio and Shravani Basu. Nikesh Shukla tells us of how our stories matter. The stellar Shashi Tharoor tells us of pride, prejudice, and panditry, and also has a very special surprise for audiences, which, wait and watch. It'll be bigger than the fire. We end with hope and laughter, for in our uncertain times, laughter too is a form of courage. We must battle the collective amnesia, the instant and disposable memories that are a reality of the present. The future holds a universe of new narratives, unfolding stories. This present too will become history, and future generations will turn to our chronicles to better understand themselves and the world. Join us over the weekend to celebrate books and ideas, music, poetry. My gratitude to my co-director, William Dalrymple. Between us, we bring a very wide perspective, and Sanjoy Roy's ever-sharp eye points out newer and better things for us to do as well. The colleagues at Teamworks, thank you all for this joyous journey so full of learnings over the last 15 years. Thank you. Jai Hind.
This used to be my London office. Many of my books were researched upstairs. Somewhere deep in the bowels, there are said to be 36 miles of East India Company documents lurking in under our feet somewhere. And so much of the history of the two countries lies around us. I hope you take time to have a look at some of the exhibitions and some of the extraordinary manuscripts in the exhibition galleries. It is wonderful to be back in person. We had a small festival last year, but to be back now with the full GLF, despite the slight hiccup of earlier this afternoon. And it's very nice to see that we brought the Delhi heat dome with us, and warming up the London pavements with a bit of Indian sun and heat. We have an extraordinary program this year. I think it's actually the best program we've ever brought to London. The finest writers from both countries, ranging from Gitanjali, Pallavi Iyer, who finally got her visa and made it with minutes to spare after a bit of a hiccup. Remo, we have around the room so many great talents, but also many wonderful writers from here. Anthony Beaver, who's has a knack of timing things perfectly and has produced a book on Russia and the Russian Revolution, just perfectly coming out this week in time to catch renewed interest, sadly, in that part of the world. Simon Sebag Montefiore, the great Colin Thubron, arguably the greatest travel writer alive. And it's lovely to see these two worlds come together in this way. And we haven't... We have negotiated all the perils. We brought writers to the Maldives a month ago and nearly had them eaten by sharks. We've nearly burnt you all alive this afternoon. Vegetarian. But the show goes on. The show goes on. So please, can I welcome to the stage? I think, is it straight away? Yes. No, not yet. No, we have more speeches. You have more speeches. Big hand for more speeches. Thank you.